Hello students, very warm welcome to the recorded lectures on reading and writing. I hope you are in the best of health. As you know, it's week 12 of your academic session. I will continue from where we left in the last lecture. Today we are going to finish the remaining pages. As you know, we are in Unit 6. It's about weather and climate. In today's lecture, we will cover pages from 118 to 121. Here is a brief overview of what we will do in today's session. Our first topic is discuss a fact file about Cuba and Iceland using comparative and superlative adjective. After this, we will write introductory sentences for descriptive paragraph about a graph. Then our next activity will be using data to support main ideas, and after this we will do a writing task which is describing a graph. So let's start at page 118. Come to activity 2. Here you see facts about two countries, Cuba and Iceland. The question says, look at the fact files for Cuba and Iceland. In the sentences 1 through 7 below, use the word and brackets to make comparative a superlative adjective and write it in the gap. So it's a fill in the blank exercise with correct form of adjective. Let's read the fact file are the information about Cuba. What is the maximum temperature of Cuba? The maximum temperature is 32 degrees Celsius, and the maximum temperature for Iceland is 14 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature for Cuba is 18 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature for Iceland is -2 degrees Celsius. You can say it degrees centigrade also, okay? Then we have average rainfall for Cuba. It is 173 mm. Mm mean millimeter. And the average rainfall for Iceland is 94 millimeter. The average sunshine for Cuba is 7.5 hours a day, and the average sunshine for Iceland is 3.4 hours a day. Now, here we have sentences from 1 through 7. What we have to do here, we have to use the correct form of the adjective, either the comparative form or the superlative form. Now let's read sentence 1. Cuba has a maximum temperature than Iceland, and the bracket we see high. It means we have to use the correct form or the correct degree of the adjective high. Now, where is the clue? Which form of adjective will be used here? The comparative or the superlative? Look at the word than. We have two countries, Cuba and Iceland, and we have the word than. So it means which form of comparison will be used, which degree of adjective will be used? we will use the comparative form of adjective because we have two countries, Ireland and Cuba, and the word than is used here. So what is the comparative degree of high? It is higher. In the previous section, you studied how to make comparative degree of adjective. Monosyllable word, we add er to make comparative degree, and we add est to make superlative degree. Now come to sentence 2. Iceland is dash, then Cuba. Here in the bracket you see the word cold. Again we have than. So which degree of adjective will we use? Yes, the comparative degree. Comparative degree of cold is what we will do, because it's a monosyllable, so we add er. It will be colder. Iceland is colder than Cuba. Now look at sentence 3. This is different from the other two. Iceland has the dash temperature. And the bracket we have low. Now, which degree of adjective will we use here? The comparative or the superlative? Because there is the, so we will use the superlative. How we make superlative degree of adjective? Monosyllable word, it is low, so the word is low. What we will do? We will add est. So Iceland has the lowest temperature. Sentence 4. Cuba is dash, then Iceland. Now again, two countries, Cuba and Iceland, and the word than, it will be enough for you. I think sufficient information is given. Than is used. We will use which degree of adjective? The comparative. Yes, the comparative. But there is one question. The spelling with monosyllable word ending in vowel and consonant. So what we do? Yes, we double the consonant and add er. Cuba is wetter than Iceland. Come to sentence 5. Iceland as dash then Cuba. Now look at the adjective dry. It ends in y. So how we change when we make the comparison, the comparative degree of adjective of a word that ends in y? What we do? Yes, we change the y into I and add er. So Iceland is drier than Cuba. Sentence 6. Cuba is the dash country. So again we see the word the. So which degree of adjective will we use? Of course the superlative. But what about spelling? The adjective is ending in y. So what we do? Change the y into I and add est. Cuba is the rainiest country. Sentence number 7 is interesting. Iceland is not as dash as Cuba. So in your previous lesson, you studied which degree of adjective we use when there is as dash as. Yes, the first degree of the positive degree of adjective. So Iceland is not as sunny as Cuba. So this is the end of activity 2. Now you can pause the video and write the answer. When you finish, we'll move to the next activity. So, let's come to the next part. It is about how to write introductory sentences for a descriptive paragraph about a graph. Here you see a graph. This graph shows the rainfall in millimeters over a year in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. We have different data, months from January to December, and the rain in millimeter from 100 to 400 mm. Now, the question is how to write the introductory sentence. What should be the first sentence? When we write introductory sentences for a paragraph about a graph, we use some phrases. So to describe a graph, we can use different phrases. Like what? Like we can say, the graph shows, or the graph depicts, or the graph illustrates. So we can use these phrases to write the introductory sentence for a descriptive paragraph about a graph. Now, usually the following is the structure of the introductory sentence. What is the structure? What we do first? We start with the phrase. The graph shows, the graph depicts, the graph illustrates, and then it's followed by what is measured, and then time period and place. So the first phrase is the graph shows, or you can write the graph depicts, or the graph illustrates. It is followed by what is measured. Now look at this graph. What is measured? Rainfall in millimeter. So you will write what is measured, the value, the things that is measured. And after that, the time period. How long? Over a month, over a week, or a year. So here in this example, we have the value, the time period is over a year, and which country? What is the name of the place? Samarkand, Uzbekistan. So we start with the phrase, the graph shows, followed by what is measured. After that, the time period, if it is a month, a week, or year, and the name of the place, or country, or city. So what will be our topic sentence or introductory sentence for this graph? Look at this example. This is graph A. So graph A shows the rainfall in millimeters. What is the time period? Over a year. Where? In Samarkand. Where is Samarkand? Uzbekistan. So this will be our introductory sentence about this graph. Graph, what is the name of the graph? Graph A. So graph A shows what? Rainfall in millimeter. What is the time period? Over 1 year. Where? In Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Let's write another introductory sentence for paragraph B. Now we have another graph, sorry. We have another graph. Now this graph, if you look at this graph shows the temperature in degrees centigrade over a year in Uzbekistan, Samarkand, Uzbekistan. We have the maximum temperature, the minimum temperature, and here the name of the month from Jan to December, and from -10 to 40 degrees centigrade. So, how will we write the introductory sentence for this graph? We start, what was the phrase? Name of the graph. Yes, what is the name of the graph? Graph B shows, graph B illustrates, graph B depicts. Okay, then what is measured? Temperature in degrees centigrade, and the time period over a year, where? In Samarkand, Uzbekistan. So this will be our introductory sentence for graph B. Graph B shows the temperature in degrees centigrade over a year in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. I hope this is clear, and I believe you can write introductory sentence for any type of graph. Just start with the phrase the graph shows. Which graph? A, B, C, whatever is the name of the graph. The graph shows what? What is measured? Temperature and degrees centigrade. Keep in mind, students, remember, the value is important. In degrees centigrade, for temperature, for rain, it's millimeter. So you must write the value. The graph B shows the temperature in degrees centigrade over a year in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. I hope you can write introductory sentence for graph. Now let's move to the next part. This is academic writing skills. As we discussed before, introductory sentence for descriptive paragraph about a graph. Here I will take your test. Pause the video, and here you have 2 sentences. Complete. Pause the video for 1 minute and try to complete it. What? Use the phrase the graph shows, then what is measured, the time period, and place. Pause it, and when you do it, you complete it, then I will show the answer to you, and you can check your answer. Yes. Welcome back. Now, what will be the first sentence? Yeah, the phrase is there. Graph A shows what? It's the rainfall and millimeter. So the rainfall. Yes. What is the time period? Over 1 year. Where? And Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Now look at this graph. Again, it shows the temperature in degrees centigrade. Where? In Uzbekistan. So what will we, how will you do it? Graph B shows, we start with the phrase. Yes, graph B shows. What should be, it should be followed by what? What is measured? What is measured here? The temperature. Yes, the temperature, and the value for temperature is degrees centigrade, and the time period is again 1 year. Where? In Uzbekistan, Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Yeah, you know Samarkand is a city in Uzbekistan. I hope this is clear. Now, the next activity is when you write a graph, describe a graph, you, after the introductory sentence, you must support it with other sentences. So, a graph usually have data. So, using data to support main idea. When we write about graph, we use numbers or data to support our main idea. What is there usually in the graph? Data is given, some facts are given, some numbers are given. These numbers give important information. As in the previous two graphs you saw, the first one was about the rainfall and millimeter, and the second was about temperature in degree centigrade. So, come to this activity. In the pair of sentences below, underline the main idea and circle the data. So, what is main idea and what is data? As I told you, data is usually number. The first one is the hottest time is between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Temperatures rise to 33 degrees centigrade. Now, what is the main idea for number one? Yes, the main idea for number one is the hottest time is between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. And what is the data given in sentence number one? Yes, 33. The number is, so the data is, what is the data? Yeah, it is 33 degrees centigrade. Remember the value, you have to write the value also. Sentence 2 says, the coldest time is at 4 a.m. Temperatures fall to -1 degree centigrade. So what is the main idea for sentence 2? Yes, the main idea is the coldest time is at 4 a.m. And what is the data? As I told you, data is usually number, and the number here is -1 degree centigrade. So, -1 degree centigrade is the data. Sorry, I forgot to put minus here, okay? It is -1 degree. So, now let's move to the other activity. This is a matching activity. Now, as that you know what is main idea and what is data, here is an activity, a matching activity. You have to match the main idea with the data. If you look at this, I have used a color scheme. I have underlined some words with different colors. What is the significance of these colors? These colors show some relationship. Let's do it one by one. So the first one is Princeton is as rainy as Chestertown. Now, which word in these sentences A through D is related or similar to rain or rainy? Yes, look at this. Read sentence C. Both towns have an average rainfall. Rainfall and rainy. Now, this is a clue. So, what is the matching data with sentence 1? The main idea 1. Princetown is as rainy as Chestertown? Yes. Sentence C or number C. This one, the data matches with the main idea. Both towns, now we have one town, Princetown, and Chesterton. So both towns have an average rainfall of 110 millimeter. So the main idea is this, and the data that matches with it is both towns. Number C, both towns have an average rainfall of 110 millimeter. Number 2, the hottest month is March. Temperatures reach 37 degrees centigrade. And Saudi Arabia, 37 may not be very high, but in cold countries, when temperature reaches to 37, it is regarded as very hot. So the word hot and 37s, these are related. This shows hotness. 37 is regarded as hot. So what is the matching data with sentence 2? Sentence B matches with 2. The hottest month is March. Temperatures reach 37 degrees centigrade. Look at sentence 3. July is sunnier than August. Sunny. Which word is related to sunny? Sunshine. Yes. Sunshine and sunny. Now this is clue. July is sunnier than August. This is the main idea, and the corresponding, the matching data is given in A. There are 8.7 hours of sunshine in July and 8 hours of sunshine in August. The 2 months, you see, these are the clues. The 2 months are given: July, July, August, August, sunshine, sunny. So you can match these things quite easily. At sentence number 4, I have colored the word coldest, and here the temperature is minus 7 degrees Celsius. So minus 7 is indeed very cold. Very, very cold. So the coldest month is December. Main idea is this, and the corresponding data are the data that corresponds with number 4 is which one? Yes, D. Temperature falls to minus 7. Clear students? Good. Now let's move to our main activity, writing task. This is the thing that you have to do. Describe a graph. Look at the graphs on page 116. Write topic sentence about each graph. So I have cut and pasted the 2 graphs here so that it's easy for you to understand. You don't need to go back to page 116. So to make it easy for you, I have cut and pasted the graphs here. This one is graph A and the second is graph B. Write a topic sentence about each graph. If you remember, just a while ago, we discussed how will you write the topic sentence or the introductory sentence. What will you do first? Name of the graph A, and some phrases like what? Like shows, depict, illustrate, and then what is measured for example, rainfall and millimeter, and then the time period over a year, and then name of the place or the country. So what will be your topic sentence for paragraph A? Think. Yes, you're right. You start with the name of the graph. Yeah, it should look like something like this. Graph A shows the rainfall in millimeter over a year in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Now do it. Pause the video and do write the topic sentence for graph B. Okay. Yes, let me explain this again. What is the name of this graph? The second one, graph is B. Yes, graph B. And this time, which phrase you will use? You can use graph B depicts, graph B shows, graph B illustrates. What does it show? Yes, graph B shows temperature in degrees centigrade. The time period is 1 year and the name or the place is Samarkand, Uzbekistan. So, what will be your topic sentence for this? It should look like something like this. I will copy again. The graph B shows the temperature in degrees centigrade over a year in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Don't copy my sentences. You can use your own judgment. You can use your own sentences. These are just example sentences. Now, look at number 2. It says, choose the two most interesting facts about temperature on each graph. Write a sentence about each fact. Use data to support the statement. It's like we did before, main idea supported by fact. Main idea supported by fact. So here in this graph we have temperature. This graph shows the maximum temperature and the minimum temperature, the coldest month and the hottest month. So, what will be your main idea? The first main idea about temperature here for graph B. Yes. Okay, let me help you with this also. July is the hottest month. If you look at this graph, which month is the hottest? Yeah, July. And what is the maximum or the highest temperature? Yes, something more than 36. It's around 37. So July is the hottest month, or you can say the hottest month is July. And now you have to support it. This is a general statement of the hottest month. Support it with data. And data will be number, of course. So the temperature rises to 37 degree centigrade. Now this 37 degree centigrade is data. What is required? Choose two most interesting facts about temperature once and write a sentence about each fact. Use data to support the statement. So what will be, let's do another one for this also. Now this time let's look at the minimum temperature and the coldest month. Which one is the coldest month if you look at this graph? Yes, look at the graph. Which month is the coldest month? Yes, you got it right. It's January is the coldest month. And what is the temperature? around minus, because this is minus 10. So yes, so this is the minimum temperature. So what will be your main idea, are fact and supported by us data. So which month is the coldest? Yes, January is the coldest month of the year. And what is the minimum? This time you will write, because the minimum temperature, the temperature drops to minus 7 degrees Celsius, or the minimum temperature is 37. So you can write here, for example, the temperature rises to, and the temperature drops to. You can write here also, the minimum temperature is this and the maximum temperature is this. Depend, you can use different sentences. Now this one you have to do this also in the similar, use a fact and supported by a data. Data means number. So let's pause the video. You do activity, write 2 sentences for number. Now come to page 120. Now you will write the first draft of, write a first draft of your sentences. So in the previous activity you wrote some sentences. Now you have to write it in a form of paragraph describing a graph. This checklist is very important when you are writing. So have you written an introductory sentence about the graph? You must write introductory sentence about the graph. So when you write it, put a tick that yes, we have written introductory sentence. When you write the introductory sentence, put a tick to this. Okay? Have you written 5 sentences to describe the graph? You must write at least 5 sentences other than the introductory sentences. Okay? 2 sentences about each graph showing main idea supported by, so write 1 main idea sentence, 1 supporting sentence, 1 main idea sentence, 1 supporting sentence for paragraph A. So this will be around 4 sentences. And similarly for graph B also you have to write at least 4 sentences, 1 main idea sentence and supported by data, another main idea sentence and supported by a data. So this will be total around 8 sentences. Okay, clear? 8, 9, yeah, total will be 2. You can write more than this. Okay, so total will be around 9, 10 sentences. Topic sentence about the graph, yes, topic we have written it. So any make any necessary changes to the sentence. What does it mean? It means your sentences should not be grammatically wrong. There should be subject, verb, the spelling should be correct. Okay, this is the language. Now come to this one, was the task checklist. Here is a language checklist. Have you used the correct collocation with temperature? What collocation is used with temperature? Yes, degree centigrade. Yes. Have you used the correct vocabulary to describe the graph? Which vocabulary we use to describe graph? In the previous activities, you have already studied these. The graph shows, the graph depicts, the graph illustrates. The temperature rises. There is rise in temperature. Fall. The temperature falls. Yeah, you studied these words. So the vocabulary to describe a graph. The average rainfall, the maximum temperature, the minimum temperature. So all these words you can use to describe a graph. Have you used comparative and superlative adjective correctly? Very important. The hottest month is July. The coldest month is January. Clear? So you can also say July is hotter than August. January is colder than March. So when you use comparison, comparing two things, you can use comparative and superlative adjectives. Make any necessary changes to your sentences. So what changes will you make? You will look that you have capitalized the beginning of the sentence, you have put full stop at the end of each sentence, you have used the correct structure, subject, verb, spelling mistake. You have to keep in mind that you write the word correctly. Now, your paragraph about graph should look like something like this. Don't copy it, just it should be like this. You see, the first sentence, this graph shows the temperature in degrees centigrade and rainfall in millimeter over a year in Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Samarkand has quite a big difference in temperature over a year. The hottest time of the year is between June and August. The maximum temperature rises to 33 degrees Celsius and the minimum is 16 degrees Celsius. However, in winter, the temperature is much colder. In January, the maximum temperature is 5 degrees Celsius, but the minimum temperature falls to 2 degrees Celsius or centigrade. You can write it, okay? And then another one, Samarkand also has a big difference in its rainfall. The wettest month is December, when the amount of precipitation reaches 380 millimeter. However, during the rest of the winter, the average rainfall drops to 50 millimeter. There is very little rainfall in summer. The driest months are June and July, when only 5 millimeter of rain falls. The last is the concluding sentence. Overall, it seems that Samarkand has dry, hot summer and very wet and cold winter. This is just a model. Your paragraph should not be exactly the same. It's just to help you that how you can write a descriptive paragraph about a graph. Now the last part you should keep in mind is this objective review. I can watch and understand a video about people who follow storm. If you can understand it very well, it means you are good. You understood everything. If the bar is to the left, you are good. If not, it means you have not accomplished the objectives of the lesson. Okay? If you can use your knowledge to predict content, I hope the bar will be on the left, not on the right. Write a topic sentence to describe a graph and use data to support ideas. I think this will be very much clear to you how to write a topic sentence and how to write supporting sentences. Now in this whole unit, the unit objective, these are some important words. All these words are very important, which part of speech they belong to. For example, decrease is noun, it's written here, and cause is verb, cover is verb, damage is verb. So all these with written V verbs, and these are adjective. I hope you know the meaning of all these words. So let me revise what we studied in this unit again. So what we did, we discussed what we discussed a fact file about Cuba and Iceland using comparative and superlative adjective. We also studied how to write introductory sentences for descriptive paragraph about a graph, and we also discussed how to use data to support main ideas. And at the end, you wrote, what was the writing task? Yes, describe a graph. I hope everything is clear. Wish you good luck. See you in the next lecture. Goodbye.